well, it is well with my soul. All is well in my world. All is well in my world. All is well in my world. Hallelujah, hallelujah, all is well. God is good all the time. God is good all the time. God is good all the time. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. All is well. Good morning, and welcome to the first online-only service, virtual service at Unity Church of the Mountains, where the light is still shining. Paula Davis, will you lead us in prayer, please?
Certainly. Good morning, everyone at home. Bob and Charlotte, and Jeanette. Oh, let's take a big breath. Release. Go down into our hearts. Dear sweet Spirit, thank you for this day and for our connection with you and with each other, because even though we're not here together, we are connected, and we are grateful for that. Today, we let go of fear and take on hope and courage, and we are positive that this too shall pass, and all is well. Amen. If those that know it want to say it at home, we'll move into our opening affirmation. There's only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God the good, omnipotent.
And this is what I know. We are still living our vision. We are still making a difference. God is still moving in our lives, and we are growing in faith, growing in understanding, growing in love, moment by moment, day by day Namaste Day. You see the good in me, and I see the good in thee. We see the good in we, it's a beautiful way to see and be. It's a Namaste Day. You see the love in me, and I see the love in thee. Just like innocent children, we see the love in we, it's a beautiful way to see and be. It's a Namaste Day, it's a Namaste Day, because the kingdom of heaven is like unto a child. The kingdom of heaven, like unto a child. The kingdom of heaven is like unto a child. I am that child. You are that child. You see the good in me, and I see the good in thee. We see the good in we, it's a beautiful way to see and be. It's Namaste Day, because the kingdom of heaven like unto a child. The kingdom of heaven is like unto a child. The kingdom of heaven is like unto a child. I am that child. You are that child. And the kingdom of heaven, like unto a child. The kingdom of heaven, like unto a child. The kingdom of heaven, like unto a child. I am that child. You are that child. You see the good in me, and I see the good in me. Just like innocent children, yeah. We see the good in we. It's a beautiful way to see it. It's a Namaste day. Thank you, laptop. All right. Today, our first ever virtual service from Unity Church of the Mountains. I'm Mike Davis. Paula Davis is here sharing prayers. Bob Slaskowski is working the camera today, thank you. And sitting at least 6 feet away, Board President Jeanette Senard. Right now, in the world, we have collectively decided that we won't touch each other. No hugs, no handshakes, and we're mostly staying home for a time. Disappointing? Yes. But crisis always brings with it the seeds of opportunity, or as I like to call it, opportunity. Or immunity. Immunity. Yeah, I like that one too. Yeah. So, an elbow bump or a namaste salute offers a different take on what a greeting looks like. That may seem like a small thing, but it's a reminder of a large thing, and that is we are being offered an opening, a chance, an invitation to rethink some things. Rethink, refeel, remember who we are. So let's look with fresh eyes at the truth that we are one and we are of the one. Psalm 133 says, "Behold, how good it is when people live together in unity, in faith, in hope, in grace." Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a soul like me. I once was lost, but now am found. 'Twas blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. Yeah, how precious did that grace appear, the hour I first believed. Through many, many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. 'Tis grace that brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. Praise God, praise God, praise God.
Thank you, Mike. As we move into prayers for the prayer box, let's hold the entire world in our thoughts and our hearts. We see healing and uplifting for everyone. Today I'm going to say a prayer from Mary Ann Williamson that I feel is very appropriate. And I'll give everyone a few minutes to maybe mention someone personally to them that they want to pray for. Let's bow our heads. Dear sweet Spirit, as I rise up, I thank you for the opportunity to be on this earth. I thank you for my mind and body. I thank you for my life. Please bless my body and use it for your purposes. May I rise up strong today, and may my body and soul radiate your love. May all impurities be cast out of my mind, my heart, my body. May every cell of my being be filled with your light. May my body and mind both be illumined for your sake and for the sake of all the world. Amen. Our truth reading today is our Lenten reading, and it is The Meaning of Grace by Eric Butterworth. Few words in Christian theology are used more or understood less than grace. What does it mean? How does it work in our lives? Though this word has been wrapped in mystery, it is really a very simple explanation of the natural flow of the creative process in the individual. You are not a helpless creature bobbing about like a cork on the seas of life. You are the very self-livingness of God. When you desire spiritual growth, it is God who first desires it in you. When you make an extra effort in your work, it is the divine urge in you that is working through you. You are not simply a subject of God, with God making notations of sin and error, or of good and righteousness. You are the activity of God in expression, beloved with an everlasting love. Grace, as the divine favor, the activity of God's love, is working for you constantly. It is not dependent upon any special faith or prayer on your part. You do not have to earn grace. It is not something that comes only to the good. It comes to all alike, simply because all alike are expressions of God. Grace is simply an explanation of a wonderful facet of the activity of God in you. It is not something to work for or develop. It simply is. It is an assurance, an explanation of why things are never quite hopeless and why we never quite reap the full harvest of the error we sow, and why we always receive a little more good than we sow. And so it is.
We are held in the hands of grace, forever safe in the arms of love. As a child receives protection from a mother's warm embrace, we are held in the hands of grace. We are held in the hands of grace. Held
Moving into meditation time, please relax and get comfortable wherever you are. Take a deep breath in. Release slowly. Take another deep breath in. Release, relax. Move down into your heart space. We are held in the hands of grace. Forever safe in the arms of love. What does that feel like? Think of a puppy or a kitten. Can you see that puppy or kitten? Can you see its bright eyes and see the energy, the little puppy or kitten running all over the place in sheer joy? That little puppy or kitten brings you joy just watching it play. You pick up that puppy or kitten. You feel its soft fur. It wiggles in your arms, and then maybe it falls asleep in your arms. Do you feel how protective you are towards that little puppy or kitten? Do you feel the love you feel for that puppy or kitten? Isn't that awesome? I bet that little puppy or kitten feels safe in your arms. Now think of a newborn baby or a young child. A tiny little being who is basically helpless to the world. It cries, you pick it up. It laughs and coos. You smile and your heart is overflowing with joy and love. The baby looks at you and gurgles, coos, and your heart overflows even more. As that baby lies in your arms, there's a connection. Their whole little being is wrapped up in your loving embrace. That's amazing. To hold someone that way, to be protective, to love them deeply. That is grace. Deep, deep grace. Now think of you, all of you, your mind, your body, your soul, the love that you have inside you. You just felt it for that puppy, for that kitten, for that little baby. Well, guess what? That's how God, Spirit, feels towards you. Can you take that on? That the divine being that created grass, trees, the mountains, rivers, oceans, birds, whales, everything loves you so much. You feel God's love when someone gives you a hug. You see God's love when someone you love looks into your eyes. God is everywhere around us and is never apart from us. God dwells inside as the love we are. You can't escape it. It's always, always with you. God is always with us through everything. We are held in the hands of grace, forever safe in the arms of love. For that we are grateful, and so it is. Namaste.
We greet the Spirit when we sing and play. We greet the Spirit on this glorious day. We greet the Spirit that's in every one of us. We greet the Spirit in you. We greet the Spirit when we sing and play. We greet the Spirit on this glorious day. Greet the Spirit that's in every one of us. We greet the Spirit. We greet the Spirit. We greet the Spirit in you. And we greet you by saying, good morning, pajama people. Namaste, coffee and tea drinkers. We greet the Spirit in you, those of you who are sitting at home watching this without wearing pants. And we trust that you are enjoying this service, but don't get too comfortable because we're coming back. We are praying and affirming that we're coming back. Let's talk about Namaste. Namaste says, the good in me sees the good in you. The love in me recognizes the love in you. The divine in me salutes the divine in you. Namaste. The very sound of the word is beautiful, like Om or Amen. The tone, the texture, it tells you that there's something special in this word. Namaste. At a casual level, it's a greeting, it's a salute. At a deeper level, it goes to the very heart of what connects us as humans. When we recognize the spark of divinity in each other, we are remembering that God created us all. We are seeing a soul-to-soul connection that goes deeper than our race or gender or background, deeper than any differences of age or health or anything else. We're going beyond what our eyes can see and seeing instead with our hearts. Now recently, basically when the coronavirus came upon us, I decided that I would start making 2 phone calls a day. I just chose names. I won't say at random because I think Spirit gave them to me, but I didn't know who they were going to be before I started. And I called 2 people each day, and I've been doing that, and I'm going to continue doing that. And I'm calling them my Namaste calls, because when I talk to people, I invite them to pass it on. 2 becomes 4, 4 becomes 8. You see, these Namaste calls they're exponential. They radiate outward, and there's really no limit to how far they can go and how much good they can do. Here's a story. The king of Persia was bored. He was an intelligent man, he liked games, and he was looking for a game that relied only on brain power and not on chance, like with dice. So So he put together a contest with his smart advisors and said, anybody who can invent a game like that will have any reward he wants. Well, sure enough, after a little time, one of them came to him with a game. It was a square board with 64 squares on it. Yeah, it was chess. Well, the king was so delighted with this that he said to the guy, hey, you can name your reward. You can have anything you want. And the advisor said, thank you, sire. What I would like is 1 grain of rice on the first square of the chessboard, and 2 grains of rice on the second square, and 4 grains of rice on the third, and 8, and so forth. Well, the king could not believe his good fortune. He's like, okay, sure, I'll give you some rice. Sure, I'll give you some rice. But one of the king's other advisors said, sire, if you do this, long before we cover all the squares on the board, he will have all the rice that exists in the kingdom and maybe in the entire world. So the king got it. Now there are 2 possible endings to this story. One of them has the king saying to the guy, all right, ha ha ha, you got me, choose something else. The other one, they took him out and cut his head off. So you can choose which ending you like better. What's the point? The point is, there are some things in this world that radiate. Grains of rice, viruses, compound interest. You know what else radiates? And it will never burn out like a virus will. Love radiates. Acts of kindness radiate. Namaste calls, they radiate. Love is exponential. Love is never ending. If you can reach out and make, I'll say even one person happy, 2, 4, what's the next number? 8, 16? Ask them to pass it on and just watch what happens. Love will radiate more than all the grains of rice that have ever existed in the history of the world. So I say, Namaste, y'all. This is the time in the service when I'd really like to say, will the ushers please come forward? But they're not here today. What I will say is that this is the time when we are going to take our love offering. And at the risk of sounding like a TV preacher, I'm going to give you a couple of places where you can continue to send your tithes and offerings even during this time when we are doing virtual church. Okay? First, our website, unitychurchofthemountains.org/donate. Or you can just go to the website and look for the donate button. It's pretty easy to find. unitychurchofthemountains.org. You can send a check to P.O. Box 832, Blairsville, Georgia, 30514. We also have a consistent giving program. If you'd like to know more about that, check in with any board member. It's a good way to go. Now, we're all adults here. We all understand how bills work. We all understand how expenses work. Those are not the most important part of what we're doing here, and it's not the main reason that I'm asking you to continue to tithe. The reason is what we are doing here, what we mean to the world, is important. I believe that to my very soul. Unity Church of the Mountains is a radiating center of light, radiating out into the world, mighty to do good in the world. And folks, we're just getting started. So, our offering affirmation, I'll break it up into chunks and ask you to repeat each part after me as I say it. Divine love, flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am. Thank you, God, and so it is.
Oh, at this time, I'm going to read the names of the people on our prayer list. And before I do, I just want to say, if anyone in our group, our gathering, our community needs anything, please get a hold of an elder of the church, a prayer chaplain, Mike, myself, or maybe Gail, because Gail keeps us all connected with that e-newsletter. But please don't sit at home with a need. Reach out. We're all there for you. We see the following people: healthy, whole, and full of vitality. Joy Ryder, Sandy Elder Moore, Richard Brooks, Fran Davis, Betty Waters, Becky McCarley, Dan Moore, and Connie Hawkins. And so it is.
Our closing prayer today comes from prayer chaplain Charlotte Slizkowski. During the time that we're doing virtual services, our prayer chaplains will take it in turn to write and send in prayers, and I will read them at the end of each service. Thank you, Charlotte. This is beautiful. Let's close our outer eyes and focus within. Let's take a few moments to feel the loving power of our loving God surrounding us. Take a deep breath. Sweet, loving, and healing God, we are so grateful for this opportunity for prayer. We acknowledge your presence in, around, and through us all. We feel your loving power. We know you are healing us all and keeping us safe. We see our friends and neighbors in your loving hands as you surround them in your healing light. Continue to be with us all. We affirm this and all that you provide for us, and we give thanks in the name of the living Christ, and so it is. Amen.
For our benediction, I will read from Philippians 4:8. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Namaste.
Namaste. And let's close with our peace song and our prayer for protection, and you can follow along and sing along at home. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment, live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.